Hello everyone, and welcome back to Cooking with Suzanne. So today we're going to make one of my favorite dishes, which is quiche. I absolutely love quiche with a nice green salad. I'm in heaven. So let's talk about all of our ingredients here. First of all, I already have a par-baked pie crust here, which we will do after, but right now I have it par-baked, it's cooled and ready to go into the oven. This is a 9.5-inch glass Pyrex pie plate that I used here. And for ingredients, I do like to use my mixer to mix my liquids, which I have 3 extra large eggs plus 2 extra large egg yolks, which is going to go into the blender. Then I have 1 cup of heavy cream and a 1/2 cup of whole milk and 3 tablespoons of sour cream. So those are all of our liquids. Now let's talk about what's going to make this quiche so delicious. First of all, we're going to use Gruyere cheese, about 3 ounces, 3 to 4 ounces. You want about a cup of grated Gruyere or Emmentaler or any type of a Swiss cheese. If there's another type of melting cheese that you happen to really like, go ahead and use it here. So the first thing we're going to do is put the majority of the cheese in the bottom of our crust. So we'll put the majority of the cheese down on the bottom, and then we'll save some for the top, but you don't need to save too much. Then our next ingredient, we're using bacon. I used an Applewood Smoked Bacon, 3 very thick slices, or about just a little under 4 ounces. And you just want to slice it up into lardon and put it in a saute pan and cook it until it's nice and crispy. I always put it on a sheet of paper towel to absorb any excess fat that's on the bacon, so this is nice and dry. So you want to spread your cooked bacon. By the way, this is all room temperature. It's all been cooled down. You don't want to add hot ingredients here, especially with the raw eggs and the cream. So put in as much bacon as you like. I think I have enough here, so I'm going to stop. I can show you I have a nice amount on the bottom. And then we're going to put potato. The potato helps, first of all, make it very satisfying, but also kind of cuts in the richness of the eggs and the cream and the bacon. So it's only 2 small potatoes. These are Yukon Gold potatoes, 2 very small ones, so just around 4 ounces. And I cook them in the skin in a small sauce pot with cold water. And you just, once it comes to a boil, bring it down and just let it simmer slowly so the potato doesn't break up. When you put a skewer through it, it should be completely cooked. And then let it cool completely at room temperature. Take the skin off and just dice it into small cubes like I've done here. So let's put the potato on the bottom, right on top of the bacon. And just spread it out so that every slice is going to have, and you'll get 8 nice slices out of this quiche. And then our caramelized onions, which they're 2 medium onions. Basically what you want is 1 cup of cooked onions. So this took about 15 to 20 minutes to caramelize. And just take your onion and spread it out over the top of your potatoes. There are all of our ingredients other than mixing our liquid, plus I do have a tablespoon or so of fresh thyme from the garden. I also have some cayenne pepper. I'm going to take a little bit of about a teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper that is going to go in with our liquid. So the first thing you want to do is break up your eggs. Okay, and then we can put in our sour cream, 3 tablespoons. we can add our salt and our cayenne. Let's start with the milk first. Let's get that mixed a little bit. And now let's put in our 1 cup of heavy cream. As I mentioned before, the milk is 1/2 of a cup of milk. So now, okay, here are our liquid ingredients. So let's put 1/2 of the fresh thyme sprinkled over the top of the caramelized onions, and we'll save a little bit to go on the top as well. I do have the oven at 350 degrees, so you want to go nice and slow, because you don't want to move all the vegetables around, the potatoes, the onion, the bacon. So take it slow, go around the outside first, then you can slowly go into the center. There we go. Okay, and now let's sprinkle the thyme over the top as well. That looks to be enough. And now we'll finish off with a little bit of cheese. Okay, this is going into the oven. I would say about 50 to 55 minutes. You do want just the very center to be just a touch jiggly, not that much, and the whole outside edges should be pretty firm. I'll get this in the oven, and then we'll come back and I'll make the pie crust with you. Okay. Okay, so I would like to just share with you the recipe that I use for the pie crust, which is an all butter pie crust. So into my mixer, I'm going to put in 2 cups of unbleached all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and in this case, you do want all of your ingredients to be cold. So I have 8 ounces, which is 2 sticks of butter, and it's cold. It's nice and cold, just straight out of the fridge. And I cubed it up, and I'm going to add it to my flour and salt. So the first thing you want to do is first mix the flour and salt a little bit before we go ahead and put our butter in, just on low. And now we can put in all 8 ounces of butter. So I'm just going to put this on low. And what you're doing is breaking up the butter into the flour very gently. I also have 2 tablespoons of heavy cream that I'm going to add with the butter and flour right away. Then the only other ingredient that we're going to use is water. And I do tend to use bottled water for this. It's 3 to 4 tablespoons. It depends on how much moisture, how warm your kitchen is. So I do have a 1/4 cup of nice ice cold water that I'm going to add to my flour and butter mixture. Once the butter is mixed a little bit, and I'll show you here. Let me just pull this out for a second. I can show you that there's some nice pieces, and it is breaking up very nicely here. There you go. So now we're ready to add our water here. It doesn't take very long, and the mixer does a very nice job. Of course, you can do this by hand as well. So just slowly drizzle in your water until the dough comes together, starts to come together. It's not completely mixed, but we will finish it on our board. So I just have a little shaker here, like a little, even like a cheese shaker, and I just have unbleached flour. I'm just going to coat my board with it. And you can put all of your flour mixture onto the board. You will see this will come together very quickly. So you just kind of take, if you bring it into a pile, kind of a mound, like so. Just take the palm of your hand, and hopefully you can see this pretty well. I'll just move this aside. Just take the palm of your hand and just spread the dough out. It helps to incorporate the butter even a little bit more into the flour. Bring it all together. And there we have our beautiful dough. All very nicely mixed. We'll take a piece of saran. Let's just move this aside. Take a piece of saran wrap. Put it on your board. Put the dough in the center. Fold your saran over. Okay, and then just take the palm of your hands and spread the dough out into the saran. And you can actually see the pieces of butter still in the flour, which is really nice. That's what you want. You want to put this in the refrigerator for a good couple of hours, and you can even let it go overnight in your refrigerator. And hopefully you can actually see, I'm not sure in the lighting if you can actually see the pieces of butter. So that's it. We'll wait till our quiche comes out of the oven so you can see how beautiful it is. All right. Okay, our quiche just came out of the oven. And there you go. It took exactly 50 minutes. And you can see it's just slightly jiggling in the center, very, very slightly. And you can see the crust, the bottom of the crust, it's still kind of, oh, it looks beautiful. It looks really, really nice. All right, take care everyone. Be well.